So it looks like a bull run is on the horizon after a very hectic May and April as well, of course. And is this a dead cat bounce, or is this just the beginning of a new uptrend? So one of the causes of this uptrend would be that foreigners are coming back. And I know Malaysians like to always look at foreigners, because if foreigners come in, that means the stock markets go up.
Yeah.
It makes sense, right? Because foreigners have, as a whole, more money by definition than just one country, Malaysia. So they are able to have upwards pressure, provide upwards pressure.
Yeah, and usually when foreigners are back, the one who is selling to them is actually the retailers and also the local institution.
That's right.
Which is what is happening right now. I can see the chart from Malaysia Stock Biz. You can see that they are buying about 1.1 billion. This is from 10th of April until 8th of May, whereas the one that is selling is the retailers.
A lot of green, yeah.
Okay, so since they're back, obviously the entire market is going up already.
Including the small caps.
Yep, small caps, KLCI, and also the mid caps. Small caps and mid caps, they are up like double digit, 11-13%. KLCI is only up like 7%-ish. So not too bad, but is it time to be bullish? Well, we will be sharing later on. But what is really driving this kind of like bullish environment, right, is because of deals, right, that is being done in the US. So number one, we have US and UK trade deal. I think this one is coming towards almost the conclusion already, close to that. They managed to come up with a deal. If you want to check out what's the deal, obviously you can just like read some of the websites that is provided over there.
Yeah.
They'll align like what stuff to look at. And then another one is also India. It's also another big economy. Basically, they say that, you know what, we're going to give what Trump wants, which is to actually slash the tariff gap by 2/3 with them that they impose against the US. So this is also another positive thing, that things are moving quite smoothly. And then last but not least, which just happened today actually, or at least like 2 days ago, it was the US and China. So
in Switzerland now discussing.
Yeah, correct. So they say that they had substantial progress, but we still don't know what is the specific details yet. Yeah.
I think what is most likely for the China deal would be a reduction from 145 to 80%.
Yep. That is what Trump is saying, but we still don't know yet. It's still like there's not much of an information. It's a surface only. So we only get this information maybe tomorrow or maybe like few days later.
Yes.
So yeah, so that's why the markets are generally very positive about all of these things. Meanwhile, for Malaysia, we also had a discussion,
Yeah, we have 4 key things, right?
Yeah, correct.
Tengku Zafrul listed out that the US wants us addressed. The first would be non-tariff barriers. So, for example, things like our Proton.
Yeah, Proton. There's also the
delays of halal certification. The US is not actually against halal certification. They're just against the whole process being too long.
Yeah, the milk also, the dairy products and all those kind of things. So they're trying to address this kind of
Then there's
barriers.
a trade deficit. We have roughly about 25 billion US dollar trade deficit with the United States. Although it has to be said, it has been declining over the past few years.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how we are going to address that. However, Tunku Zafrul has said they are considering, buying more beef.
Yeah.
I believe weapons are also part of the discussion, things like that.
Yep, exactly. Then the third one is obviously related to the AI chip. So, they say that Malaysia is some sort like the transshipment to like certain restrictive country.
AKA China.
China. So, they're trying to say that, there is some sort of certificate that needs to be given to the exporters so that they don't do
And this is the one area that Malaysia already start making progress in.
Yes.
We already start issuing this specific
CO, certificate of origin. Yeah.
Correct. So we are moving with good progress there, I guess. Although it also has to be said, one thing going on for us is not really it's a good and a bad thing, which is that we don't actually transship very high technology stuff. Maybe certain components, but
but I think the most they think that is more severe one, it is the Nvidia's chip. I think this one will be the key one.
Right.
But the rest, the IC, I think that one is still fine.
That's right.
So the last one is the investing in American industry. This one is going to be a little bit tough. I think Malaysia got say that they are going to be buying some more bonds or something like that.
Well, basically the language, the implicit language by Tengku Zafrul is that we are already investing a lot in American industries, because the stocks and bonds combined, I believe, for the GLCs is around 45 to 50 billion US dollars. As a Malaysian, who have money in these gigs, right? Whether it's the pension funds and all that, I don't mind increasing this amount, give whatever amount that is big. If our trade deficit is, let's say, like 25 billion US dollars, maybe commit another 10, 15 billion US dollars into the US market. It's very liquid, so it's quite easy to just make purchases and all that. So I think this is overall a good thing for everybody.
Yeah.
We get to invest in top companies, and Trump gets to be happy and tweet about it.
Yep.
Maybe
exactly.
I can foresee saying, "Wow, Malaysians committing tiny Malaysia is committing 10 billion US dollars to the American market."
Yeah.
Let him win, I guess.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I mean, despite all of
Still
these
down,
positive news, S&P 500 is still down like 8%. If you compare to the peak around February to the right now 9th of May as of this recording. So why is it not fully recovered? Well, obviously there is still tariff being implemented, the 10% reciprocal tariff. That one is still in effect. And then China also side the factory, some of them are actually not really running as much as they want. The logistics side of things also, shipping side of things are still pretty much down. Obviously right now probably there is some sort of like a positive news for them so that they can like continue running their operations. They can actually like, ship out stuff to the US or whatsoever. But if you look at internally for Malaysia, some of these companies like CBH Engineering, this company is down 22% in one day. And the reason why they are down so much is because the management was being too honest. So yeah, they say that, foresee upcoming financial year, the profit is going to be down quite bad.
I think that's good.
Yeah, it's good. But obviously,
not if you are holding the shares, of course. But
yeah, I mean, but obviously, like investors being investors, right, or institution retailers, they will start to panic lah when they hear like bad guidance. So that's why it's down. But whether is it an opportunity or not, this one,
look at the numbers.
Yeah, to look at numbers. But one thing for sure is that this management's integrity is good. So yeah, this one got my respect. CBH Engineering. Then the next one is CTOS. So this one also,
it's a big mystery, right? How are you a monopoly, or duopoly rather? Right? And struggle to do well.
Correct. This one is a big question mark for CTOS. I mean, that tells you about how important their products or services is. Maybe it's not so at the current juncture. Then the last but not least, we have Genetec. Obviously, this one is related to a major automotive company, which is related to the electric vehicle in the US. So they are also down 9%. Obviously, I think they are kind of like doing like a wait and see approach. They want to see how is the progress like, then only potentially their major customer can give them more orders. So that's why there are some companies that are still kind of like struggling. And then also we have IPO, which is not doing so well. So you can see like a few companies, Fibromat, this one, they just enter into Ace Market. The first day, it down 10% below the IPO price. And then there's also like Waytech, West River, they are also like down below their IPO prices. Yeah. And if you look at the general IPO companies, the last 6 months, 70% actually underperform. Yeah. So it's only like 30%. Their price are actually more than the IPO price. And we don't even know what is the magnitude, whether is it like just plus 5% or plus 10%. So yeah, basically IPO right now is kind of like a bloodbath. That's why you see some companies like, for instance, Kuku, right? They are being very cautious. They don't want to lease so quickly. I believe they wanted to lease around like April.
There's a delay by almost 2 months, I think.
Yeah, and then now they extended to June. So that one is kind of pretty. They're trying to quite spook about this entire tariff war. And then we also have this, which is the statutory reserve requirement. So recently, our BNM, they say that we are going to be reducing the rate from 2% to 1%. So if you don't know what is SSR, it's basically the amount of cash they need to put inside their reserve for all of these commercial banks. So the higher the SSR rate means the more conservative. The lower is it means they are giving out money to people. So they are kind of like in a way telling you guys that we are preparing that there will be some sort of tariff damage against our exporting companies. So especially like small little SME companies, right? They will definitely be impacted. So that's why there's some sort of like stimulus. They are not reducing pre-stimulus. Yeah, they're not really reducing or printing money. Reducing OPR rate and also printing money in a sense. They are just using existing reserve that they have. Then they just dish out to the affected companies.
Yep.
So yeah, this is also another sign that is potentially showing that upcoming few months is going to be a struggle for companies. So the final thoughts over here, we have front loading, obviously. In our previous video, we did talk about it, that potentially companies will be exporting companies will be reporting good numbers for Q1. But Q2 might be a struggle with the ringgit strengthening. So let's say if the ringgit depreciate back again, then I think
Yeah.
we'll be fine. But if let's say
But it is depreciating as we speak, right? I think
Yes.
it hit about 4.19.
4.2 and then
Yeah,
kind
now
of
it's
like going
about
back
4.3 something now.
Yeah, correct. So that's a good
That was
sign.
fun.
Yeah. Temporary rebound.
China's response. So I personally don't have a lot of hope in this. I think it is in China's, knowing how China operate, they will want to delay. They want to handle, settle all different issues. And I think for America, because they learned from the first trade war that not much progress, at least from their perspective, was made. So they want to rush things. So we have two opposite views, because China wants the status quo, or rather they will think a lot about US's response, whereas the US will want to bulldoze it. So US also will experience, we can expect some sort of inflation.
Yeah.
Of course, I think it's not as bad because of the reduction in tariffs for the others, right? Whether it's India, UK, and hopefully the rest. And of course, hopefully ASEAN also will see big tariff reductions by the US.
Yep. So this is actually one of the projections inside the news, the Age news article, right? So they say that US inflation, he's very specific. He said that it's going to be around like 4% in 2025. Then the tariff rate for most countries will be around like 10 to 15%. So that is about the range, which is what we are experiencing right now. And then the tariff rate against China will de-escalate to around 60%. And then there will be kind of like a shallow US recession for a couple of quarters. But by the middle of 2026, the US will kind
This
of
is very specific.
Yeah. But what's interesting is that he did some sort of prediction in the past. It came true, whatever he said. So that's why I put it out over here and see whether is it going to continue like hitting the bet or not.
Yeah, of course. Another thing that is that's a bit harder to measure would be the elasticity. So what it means is, yes, the tariff rate is applied, and yes, the percent actually goes up, right? The inflation. However, not all goods are necessary. So either necessary or lack alternatives.
Okay.
So if you put a tariff, yes, end up Americans will have to pay more. But it may be so high that they will opt for an alternative that has no tariff, another country, let's say. Or that they can just opt not to buy it. So I believe 1+ week ago, I sent in our Fire Pro community chat showing this grandmother wanting to buy a dress for the granddaughter.
Yep.
Right, it was something like $16 or something like that, or 19. And then because of the tariffs, they slap on another $30. So she had to pay 46 billion, and it's coming from China, right? So her response was, you know what, I'm not going to buy.
Yeah.
So in that scenario, there is no like inflation occurred. I mean, inflation, yes, if you buy it, but if you don't buy it, it doesn't affect you.
Yeah. The US consumer will be more saving instead of like spending.
Could be saving, or they'll find alternatives or whatever, right? So that's the bit that's a bit harder to measure. And so 10 to 15% seems possible. Could be low, could be higher, we'll see.
Yeah. Then the next one is obviously if the US suffers for the next quarter or maybe a few months, Malaysia will definitely be suffering. Not only just us, most of the countries also will be. So that's one you have to like pay attention to. And then last but not least, if you think that now is a great time to like go all in, well, I think it's time to like reevaluate your strategy again. Don't be so FOMO. Don't rush to buy things. Obviously, you want to look at companies that has a good value against its current price, which is their intrinsic value is like higher compared to the current price. Then only you can like consider like buying nibble small amount. So that is basically our final thoughts about today's market. And we also have a Fire Pro 30% discount because we did the big webinar just a few days ago. And if you guys are watching today's video, congrats. Instead of 10% off, you get a 30% off. And then the net price will be about $418 USD. However, you need to take note of the deadline. It's going to be around 19th of May, 11:59 p.m. Okay, just take note of this date. And then you get the discount code will be in the description and comments below. So April's performance actually rebounded. It's not 33% anymore. It's about 36 to 37. So we are going back to normal again. Back to the usual. It's the same for Fire Pro Global and also the Boring portfolio. Everything is going back up. So if if you don't know what is Fire Pro, it is where we actually write our analysis on certain companies that we think it is interesting. Some of them are actually companies that we do own, and we also disclose to you guys inside the write-up. And also, we also do initiate some of the positions inside these portfolios. So you see these censored names, right? It's basically what we have initiated so far, and these are their performance. And if let's say we do exit them, we also will be disclosing our whatever transaction that we did for that particular day itself. So everything is going to be real time, so that you wouldn't be like, scared lah. Like if let's say there's like a delay of transaction. So these are everything is like straight away we will notify you guys.
No, there's always going to be some delay, few minutes, but that's about it.
Because I need to post also, edit and everything.
Yeah, and we have a community, so if you're part of it, we'll basically help you shortcut a lot of your research, either through the educational stock analysis, plus our community of investors, industry insiders, and things like that.
So if you want to get a taste, you want to see how we do our write-ups, it's going to be inside our free sample. The links also will be in the description and comments. And just to give you, for example, we initiated Delium, Berhad, we shared to our members that we bought over here and then we sold over here. Obviously, this is our own portfolio, right? We're just sharing you guys some case study, successful case study that we have a counter for the past year of Fire Pro. So if you are interested in all of these, make sure to check out the 30% discount at the description and comments. See you guys next video.